Good evening, folks. Welcome back to the channel. Good to see you. It always is. I hope you're all doing well. We have reached the finals over in Sweden, Belgium, and in Kazakhstan. Three of the best. For us to touch on today shouldn't take that much of our time. So get your comments in with your predictions. Anything that I'll be going for today will be in that pinned comments. As always, you're more than welcome to take a look at that. Take it if you want, leave it if you must. It's entirely up to you. The choice will always be yours. But do like the video, get yourself subscribed to the channel if you're not already. I would appreciate that very much. We continue to grow each and every day. Get yourself involved. It'll be an honour to welcome you to the team. But before we get started, as always, quick recap time. For the recap is recap time. How did we get on in the semi-finals? Did we win, lose, or just come close? Most importantly, did we enjoy those matches? I'll go first. Happy days. Happy days routine win for me today. Moutet on the money line, 1.91 on the exchange. Got it done against Alex Michelsen. Was never really in much doubt. I was quite confident. The price was right. Everything was right in that match. Alex Michelsen put in a really good hustle, but unfortunately he was no match for the Frenchman today. I was rather pleased. Very grateful for that, Moutet. Thank you very much. But get yourself involved. Let me know. Share with the group. Don't be shy. And we'll waste no more time with it. Let's get right into business. Let's get it on. Very well, folks. One last time. Over in Kazakhstan, we've got Moutet taking on Daniel Medvedev once again. I can't wait for this. It's the final I wanted. I feel like it's the final that we well and truly deserve. These two have been by far the best this week out of the bunch. But there's still one game left, and it's all to play for, and there can only be one. So who's it going to be? Head to head is one apiece. First time went to Daniel Medvedev back in 2021 over on the grass, and then most recently went the way of the Frenchman over in Washington not that long ago. Kinda got pasted in the first set, 6-1. I thought it was done for him, and then the comeback was on, 6-4, 6-4. Happy days. So who's it going to be in this one? It's not going to be long until we find out anyway. I can't wait to watch it, that's for sure. For the most part, Medvedev's been doing Medvedev things this week. Adam Walton, straight sets, easy as you like. Excuse me. Close game, didn't have to do much. Fabian Madison, close first set, routine finish in the second. Had to play James Duckworth, the banging form, blazing hot James Duckworth, and he did drop the first set in a tiebreaker. You know, for the most part, this week the service games of James Duckworth have been somewhat unplayable. It sounds weird to say it, but it's true. No one's been able to do anything against him. And I thought it was going to be the same. I honestly thought he was going to make a final. He was in for a very good chance to make a final this week. But given how good he's been, he most definitely met his match with Daniel Medvedev over the other side of the net. Couldn't touch his serve either. Couldn't touch his serve. Very close tiebreak, and then the comeback was on in the second and third for Medvedev. Fantastic. Fantastic. Just want to give a tip of the cap to James Duckworth. I didn't think he would get this far, absolutely not, and he's played really good. But even though Medvedev's been decent, I do feel like Moutet, he's kind of been the guy to beat this week, has he not? He's played one more game. Bernard Tomic, Shevchenko, Struff, Michelsen. It's kind of he's dealt with them all the same, but on paper it's kind of got a little bit harder as the week's gotten on. And like I said, he's dealt with them all the same. Dealt with him rather easily. He was fantastic yesterday against Alex Michelsen. I'll give him that. He managed to deal with the power of Struff, managed to deal with the service games of Alex Michelsen. I feel like them two games prior to this, look, they're not a carbon copy by any means of Daniel Medvedev, like far from it. But he should be a decent warm-up leading into this. Like I say, he got it done last time on the hard courts as well. He's very tricky, as is usually the case with Moutet. It's a contrast of styles, and styles always make matchups, as they say in the fight game. Now, straight off the bat, getting Medvedev, big favourite. Kind of expected it. 1.3. Do I agree with it? Not so much. But I will accept it. It is what it is. It's Daniel Medvedev on the hard court after all. Now, these are somewhat similar to what they were last time. And I'm pretty sure I would have been sitting here last time saying something along the lines of the same. I think the power and the overall baseline game of Daniel Medvedev would be too much for the likes of a Moutet, who, let's be real, it doesn't really seem like it for the most part, but he is kind of lacking in that power department, that first serve. You don't really see him acing that many people. Well, compared to Medvedev anyway, the power seems to be night and day in this one. But it didn't make that much of a difference last time. And it hasn't really mattered this week. Like I say, Moutet doesn't need power because he has everything else. He has everything else. And, when he's playing like this as well, it's like even if you've got the power, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. You need everything else to get past this guy. He's so tricky. He's so tricky. I've said it a few times this season and I'll say it again. I think Moutet just may be, apart from the obvious ones, I think he may be one of the more talented players on the tour. I really do. He's fantastic to watch. He's electric. He really is. Second final is this? Or the third? No, we got to the semis in Washington, was it? Was it over in Washington he got to the semis? I know he got to the final in Mallorca and then he's in a final. Let's just call it the second final. He'll fancy himself for the title. But then again, Daniel Medvedev, can you believe this guy? I mean, can you believe that he hasn't got himself a title this year? I can't. I mean, I kind of can because the way he's been playing, he kind of, don't want to sound cruel, but playing the way he's played, you don't really deserve to win titles, do you? To be real. But it is what it is. He's in for a very good chance to get this one today, and there's still time left. I imagine he'll be looking to finish his year with a title. He did get to the final. Last time he was here, 2023, Moutet. He's never ever made it through qualification up until now. Now he's in the finals. I don't know, man. I'm seeing a big price. I'm seeing a very big price on Moutet. I think that spread will be 3.5, just like what it was with James Duckworth. And I was very hesitant to take that. I do think Moutet is a much better player. I really do. That first serve's worrying me, though. The first serve is worrying me. He's putting it in enough. He's putting it in just about the same amount as Daniel Medvedev. He's defended that second serve perfectly as well. Faced a lot of break points. I know he's played one extra game. He's faced a lot of break points. I can't remember the exact number. I'll find it and I'll put it on the screen in a minute. But I say there's been quite a lot of opportunities for him to lose his serve. Daniel Medvedev, not so much in that regard. I can't help but feel like just the power and the overall baseline game should be the one to get Medvedev over the line. But like I said, I probably would have said that last time. And then I probably weren't surprised to learn that just the overall trickery and craftsmanship of Moutet can get him through this one. He doesn't get tired. If we're talking fitness as well, I'm never really concerned with the fitness of Moutet. As for Medvedev, the deeper we've been getting into these tournaments, I'm not saying the worse he's looked, but I'm just saying, we're already 3 games in now. He had a long one against James Duckworth. I doubt he's going to be in any better shape for this one today. So I don't know. Medvedev probably should be winning this. It kills me to say it, but he probably should be winning this one. At 1.35, I would not be willing to roll the dice. I would much rather just, for the sake of it, Moutet on the spread. You don't need me to tell you he's covered it in the last few, because obviously he has, he's won them all, but 3.5 games for Moutet. I feel like he could pinch a set, He could very well just win. I think if anything, if Adam Walton can keep it close, James Duckworth can steal a set off you, Fabian Madison can get a close set out of you. I'd like to think Moutet can as well. I'd like to think he'll be inspired enough to at least give this one his all. Can you see him getting to another final? Is there going to be a chance as good as this one to take a title for Moutet from now till the end of the season? Probably not. I don't know. I think he's played really good. The power's the only issue. The power and the strength is the only issue, but it hasn't been a problem all week, and it never usually is a problem for Moutet. If he turns up and does his thing, he's an absolute nightmare for the best of them, and I imagine the current version, the 2025 version of Daniel Medvedev shall be no exception to that. Like we seen last time, got it done last time. I fancy him to give him a really good go today. We're looking at them on paper, 38 and 25 so far for Moutet on the season, 37 and 21 for Medvedev. He's won a couple more games on the hard courts outdoor, that's it. Won a couple more games. I think this one will be a little, I'm hoping it is, but if I had to guess, for the sake of the prediction, I'd say this one would be a little bit closer than what those odds are suggesting. I would have to go with Corinth and Moutet plus that 3.5 games or whatever that spread is. I'd take him on the spread 3.5. It should be. It's got to be. It can't be any less than that. If it's 3.5 for Moutet, I'd be very tempted to take that. If it's pinned, it's pinned. If it's not, it's not. Jiří Lehecka and Felix Auger Aliassime finding out who's going to take this title over in Belgium today. This should be very interesting. Now, straight off the bat, these odds are split right down the middle, and you probably could have guessed that yourself. This is the most 50-50 coin flip game that we've had all week, in my opinion. Who's it going to be in this? Who is it going to be? Both of them played 3 games. Both have been fantastic. Jiří Lehecka is yet to drop a set. He did drop one to Benjamin Bonzi. It's because Benjamin Bonzi retired. It comes up as the 1-0. Won his first game against the Belgian kid. Took out Benjamin Bonzi because Bonzi just, I don't know, his bones began to disintegrate. All of a sudden he just fell off a cliff after that tie break. It's a shame. It's a shame. But it is what it is. The game against Gio and Petchy Pericard, fantastic. Fantastic. That was near flawless. Near flawless from Jiří Lehecka on them service games. He barely dropped a point. Barely dropped a point. Now I am impressed by that. But at the same time, on the other hand, we have sat here all season pretty much saying how Gio's return game is non-existent. So, how much weight that actually holds in that one, I'm not too sure. But I like what I've seen from Jiří Lehecka. He's been solid this week. He usually is when he's playing like this. He's deadly on the hard court. Remember how good he was at the start of the season? He was one of the best. One of the best, like by far. As for Felix, I mean, this guy was really good too. And he's been decent this week as well. I mean, given the opponents on paper, I know some of them have played a lot better than what the rankings and whatnot would suggest, but Demir Juma, he struggled against him. Sposeri, bit easier. He dealt with him a lot more. And the game against Colin Yon posed a massive threat coming into this one today, being the home, I'd say the home favourite, even though he was the dog, you know what I mean, the home favourite and what have you. And then Felix dealt with him as well, 6-2. 6-2. It was 7-6, but it was 7-2. That's what I was getting confused. 7-2 in the tiebreak in the first set. He was fantastic in that. And then it was just a routine second set as well. Quick break of serve, 6-4. There you go. You can't take the serve off him. I haven't been able to take the serve off him this week. Same for Jiří Lehecka as well. These courts over in Belgium are really, really fast, are they not? I feel like we could just be in for the close one. The odds would definitely suggest that. I did have a quick look at the total in this, 25.5. That's very high. You'd think Gio and Petchy Pericard was playing in this one, wouldn't you? 25.5. You'd expect in 3 sets, the bare minimum, or they're telling you it's going to be 3 sets anyway. I'm not too sure. These have played each other twice. The first time they played Australian Open 2023, Jiří Lehecka got it done 3-1. Close enough game. It was a close enough game. It was entertaining, but Lehecka seen that one through. And he was supposed to play, well, he kind of did play in Madrid last year on the clay. 3 games each. Lehecka pulled out. I don't think there's much to split these two. I don't. I think Felix, now you don't need me to tell you how good this guy's been. Like US Open, Felix, what have you. He's been unreal. Semi-finals in the US Open. Got to the quarter-finals in Shanghai last week. You're not that surprised to see him beat the likes of Demir Juma, Sposeri, Colin Yon. Absolutely not. But same for Lehecka though. I mean, now Bailey or Bai, whatever his name is, then Bonzi and Gio. Winnable games. These are the games that you would expect them to win. Now they play each other, and like I said, the odds are split right down the middle. I don't think there's a lot that either one does much better than the other. I really don't. I think if anything, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe it's just on the eye, but that forehand of Felix, when it's like this, it looks like money. It just looks like money when he's playing like this. You can't do much against it. But with that being said, you could literally say the same for Jiří Lehecka as well. Like I say, they're somewhat like a carbon copy of one another. They really are. They do everything somewhat the same. I don't think there's anything to split them. Either one of these for a set would be a sweet little parlay piece. But you know what? I've just got a weird feel. I've got a gut feeling that I want to go for Lehecka. There's something pulling me more towards Jiří Lehecka in this spot. Now, it is a final. I'm not going to sit here and say, Felix is just going to shit the bed, because he's won more titles than Lehecka this year. Only the one. Felix has got 2. Yuri got the 1. Both of them come right at the very start of the season as well. So both of these will be looking to finish off with yet another title. I've just got a weird feeling that Lehecka might just get this one done. I don't know what it is. I haven't even got a reason for it, folks. Like, it's just one of them, innit? You're just guessing. You're literally just guessing for the most part on ones like this. There's nothing to suggest either one is going to run away with a victory in this. Either one for a set. I just give a slight lean towards Yuri Lehecka, just based on the fact that everyone's saying that Felix is going to beat him. I don't think it's as cut and dry. I really don't. You know, if you look at the hardcourt records this season, where are we? 22-10 for Lehecka, 24-10 for Felix. 9-2 indoors, 4-1 indoors. Evenly matched. 41-19 for Lehecka, 42-22 for Felix. Need I say more? Need I say any more? You pick your poison, you pay your money, and you take your choice. I think we could be in for a long one. It could go the distance. We could be in for the 3-setter. We could be in for an absolute shitting of the bed from either one, because the Lord knows we've seen them do it a good few times. But now they're both in the final, so maybe they'll both be proper nervous, maybe they'll both be super fucking nervous, and maybe it'll just cancel each other out. So I don't know. I'd lean towards Yuri Lehecka. I just would. The slightest of leans to Yuri. And I don't know why, I've just got this weird feeling. I think it's just one of them. You've just got to flip a coin, close your eyes, put them on a piece of paper, flip them up, and just blind pick one. I don't know. Choice is yours, and it always will be. I'll be on with Lehecka. Get a better price for Yuri Lehecka in a spot like this, therefore I would probably just go with that, with it being a coin flip in my opinion. Right, to the last one. Humbert, Casper Ruud, over in Sweden. Can't wait. 2 of my favourites. 2 of me boys. Who do I want to win this? I couldn't tell you. I'll be happy for whoever wins, and I'll be sad for whoever loses. But unfortunately, it's going to have to be one of them. One of them's going to have to get sent home today. But who's it going to be? Who is it going to be? These are no stranger to one another. Head-to-head is 3-2 to Humbert. Casper Ruud beat him last year on the clay in Monte Carlo. 2022 was the last time Humbert beat Casper Ruud. That's quite some time ago. 3 years ago. A lot changes in just 1 year, in just one season, so never mind 3. But what I will say is this. Not only did Casper Ruud beat him on the clay last year, but the other time he beat him was on the clay as well, 2020. So, kind of similar to the head-to-head with Lorenzo Sonego, with Humbert. There's a clear difference when it comes to the surface speed and whatnot. There's a clear advantage when it comes to the quicker surfaces in terms of Humbert. But even with that being said, every single one of these matches have pretty much went the distance, apart from that one in Wimbledon, in Wimbledon, where it was 3-1 to Humbert. But all the rest of them, Auckland, Hamburg, Paris, Monte Carlo, 2-1, the lot. Set a piece. You never really know who's going to win until we get to that deciding set. And I wouldn't be surprised to see more of the same in this one today. For the most part, I'd say I've been more impressed with Casper Ruud, but this is what I expect from Casper Ruud. I'm aware of the level of Casper Ruud. Marin Cilic in straight sets, drop one to Korda, and then light work against El Chapo today. Kind of thought it would be. Not really surprised to see him in the final, given the draw that he's had. Although it's been anything but easy. I'm not taking nothing away from him, don't get me wrong. And as for Humbert, same could be said for him. The game against Berrettini, it is what it is. He was a slight dog coming into that, weren't he? Berrettini's been well off the boil for what seems like all season. You know, I don't know what he's just struggling with fitness, struggling with form, just struggling straight across the board. Decent win. It is what it is, but probably doesn't hold as much weight as what it would have done in the past. The game against Sonego, very grateful that he got the win. I thought he would win. He did win, but it was anything but convincing. But like I said, grateful that he got it done for us. We all deserved that one. But man, he looked fucking ropey from the get-go. I said it yesterday, didn't I? And I'll say it again. He looked so ropey, super dicey from the get-go in that one. Dropped that first set in the tie-break. And if you'd have told me after that tie-break he was going to put a bagel on him in the second, I'd have said you were fucking insane. But he did. And not only did he do that, he managed to pull off the comeback and get it done in the third set. Ever since dropping that tiebreak, he looked like a completely different player. He really did. Now, whether Sonego just took one hell of a dip, I think he did. I mean, come on, he obviously did, didn't he? He looked solid. He looked untouchable in that first set, and then all of a sudden, he just couldn't hit anything. So it is what it is. The game against Holger Rune, what happened to Holger Rune, folks? What happened to Holger Rune? We won't go on about it too much, but you let me know in the comments. You let me know your thoughts on that. You've got to wish him a speedy recovery, man. You don't like to see it. In fact, you hate to see it, don't you? I don't know for sure what's happened with him. Did he say an Achilles? Is that what we're saying? An Achilles injury? He reckons it's torn or he's popped it or whatever. You better pray that that's not torn. That's all I'm saying. Like, I'm no athlete, but you probably don't need me to tell you if he is suffering, if that's a bad one. We may see Holger Rune. Oh well, we may not see Holger Rune for quite some time. I hope that's not the case. I really don't. But you have to admit it ain't looking good. Like I say, I don't know too much about it, but he was beating Hugo Humbert. He was beating him, and then it was 2 apiece in the second set, and then he just, I don't know. It didn't look good. It just didn't look good. He was clearly concerned, very, very upset with what had happened. Couldn't continue, and then Hugo Humbert just gets the win by default, basically. You know what I mean? He just comes through due to an injury on Holger Rune. You know, providing what happened didn't happen, we may have just seen Holger Rune and Casper Ruud. I'll be honest with you, I was kind of expecting Holger Rune to win that because, as the head-to-head would suggest, he always beats Hugo Humbert. But things are different now, and Hugo Humbert's in the final with Casper Ruud. And these games are always close. They're always close, and like I said, I would expect more of the same today. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. I'm very happy. Don't get me wrong. I'm delighted. I'm more than delighted. I'm over the fucking moon that Hugo Humbert is come back into form. I'm that surprised. You know, we've entered the indoor clay. We've entered the indoor courts, and now all of a sudden Hugo Humbert is doing exactly what I know he can do. Not really. But you have to admit, he's been half the man he used to be all season up until this point. Like I say, it's only been the indoor games that have saved him. 2-5 on the clay, 8-9 outdoors, 7-0 indoors. There you go. Said it at the start of the week, and I'll say it again. Although he's playing Casper Ruud, and we know Casper Ruud is by far one of the better players in the world, I'd go out there and say I think Hugo Humbert, he's one of the best players when it comes to these indoor courts, by far. I don't know where you'd rank him, but he would most definitely be in that top 10, probably top 6, top 5. I'd be willing to go out and say that, absolutely. He's unbelievable. He's fantastic, and he's always quality indoors as well. Like I say, 10-3 last year, 12-5 rather, before that, 11-6. Casper Ruud ain't nowhere near as good as this guy in the indoor court, although this season has been quite different. 8 wins, 1 loss. Money. Straight money from Casper Ruud. He's quality, 36-14. I love this guy, you know I do. I love watching Casper Ruud. He's fucking brilliant. He really is. Now, up until late, I'd have taken Casper Ruud in this matchup in a heartbeat. Probably in a heartbeat. But you're getting him around 1.6. They are showing a bit of respect to Hugo Humbert at the moment. Call it 2.4. This opened up around... Actually, no. It's 2.3. Call it 2.3. It opened up a bit closer. Bit of cash coming on Casper Ruud now. I feel like the price has got a little bit out of hand with Hugo Humbert. Now there's money coming back in on him, so it's kind of neutralising itself. I do somewhat agree with the odds, for the most part, actually. I do agree with the odds. 1.6, 1.65 at a push for Casper Ruud in this. May seem rather generous. Given the, if we take Stockholm out of the equation, given that version of Hugo Humbert, I think 1.65, sub 1.7 for Casper Ruud might seem like a bit of a steal. But I don't think it's wise to go against Hugo Humbert on these indoor courts. I really don't. Like I say, the win against Berrettini, not so much. Sonego, it was a mess, wasn't it? The result was just all over the place. Can't take too much from that. And then the match against Holger Rune. Some may say, or most may say, he's very, very lucky to be here. I don't know. I'll leave it with you. I shall leave it with you. For the sake of the prediction, I'm going to go with Hugo Humbert. Because no one's thinking he can do this. No one's going to think he can do this. No way. I'm a firm believer in this guy, I really am. Casper Ruud has all the abilities and more to deal with Hugo Humbert. but can he deal with them on the quicker court? We are yet to see it. Like I said, it's been quite some time. Apart from last year, it's been quite some time since these have got it on. But I quite fancy him. I really do. And at that price, 2.4, so I feel like I'd have to take Hugo Humbert at 2.4 on the indoor hard court. Now, Casper Ruud may just turn up and beat the shit out of this guy. I hope he doesn't. I hope it's at least competitive for the pair of them. I really do. I don't want to see either one get absolutely drilled today. I'll be a little bit disappointed in them in that. I just think Hugo Humbert with that lefty game, like I say, given that record on the surface, it's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout today, folks. It's really not. You pay your money, you take your choice. Don't really know what I'm going to do today. There's only the 3 matches, isn't there? I might just get prepared for where are we off to next? Tomorrow, Vienna. We off to Austria and Switzerland. Oh, we've got the Swiss indoors, haven't we? I can't wait for that. Swiss indoors, man. Super speed. I think that's as quick as these courts get over on the ATP tour. Don't quote me on it, but they are really, really quick. But I think we want to leave it there. I think we could be in for an over. We'll touch on that. I think we could be in for a close one. History is anything to go off. It would suggest this one is going to be a very hard-fought contest and a tough battle. We could be in for a set piece. We could be in for it going the distance like every other meeting at DVAD. So I'll leave it with you. I will definitely leave that with you. Very well, folks. That shall do us. Once again, another day in the bag. Another set of tournaments, for that matter, in the bag. This season's flown by. Imagine that. I can't believe we've got 1 month left, and then that's it. We're done. We're done for December. Never know what to do with myself throughout December. We'll have the football and whatever. We'll still have stuff to do, won't we? But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. There's still a hell of a lot of tennis to be played. But I appreciate you stopping by as always. Thanks for watching the show. Like and subscribe before you go. I'd appreciate that too. But I'll be saying good night to you. Take it easy. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Let me know what you're going for. And I wish you the best of luck with your day. However you decide to go about your business. Have yourself a good one, folks. See you tomorrow.